If you're an expecting or new mom who plans to breastfeed, it's likely that you've heard of the HAAKAA and you've probably heard of milk catchers. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through the difference between the two and which one is right for you. I have been exclusively breastfeeding for 6 months as a first-time mom, and I am so excited to share everything that I've learned since then. Plus, I'll be giving you my bonus tips on how I built a milk stash using these two products. The first aspect that I want to compare is how discreet they are. Now, clearly they are two different shapes. With the original HAAKAA shape, you clearly cannot really hide this very well. It's not really something that you can just kind of hide. If you're wearing something very baggy, I suppose you could, and it probably depends on your general shape. But for me, this is definitely something that I would only really use at home, versus the Ladybug can sit pretty nicely inside your bra. If you have an oversized shirt, you probably wouldn't be able to tell very much. So if you are looking to have something that catches your milk out in public, I would definitely go with the Haaka Ladybug. How much can each of these products hold? Now, if you just look at the 3 different products that I have, this one is the smaller of my HAAKAAs. This one holds 4 ounces. This one holds 5 ounces, and it's a pretty big difference in my opinion versus this one. So this specific Ladybug that I have holds 2.5 ounces, which is a pretty good amount, but depending on your letdown, it may be a little bit too big or a little bit too small. And they actually do offer various sizes ranging from 1.5 to 4 ounces, I believe. There are so many different variations within just this general HAAKAA shape. The ones that I have actually have a suction cup at the bottom, which was a must for me. I did not want to mess with it accidentally just tipping over, so I definitely use this. I personally would never want to run the risk of this tipping over when it's full of milk, so I always bought the ones with the suction on the bottom, as well as I have 2 different variations of the stoppers up top, the lids. Serving a similar purpose, the Ladybug actually comes with silicone legs at the bottom for it to be able to sit nicely on a flat surface, so that is actually really helpful. The other thing that I've done sometimes too, so it doesn't fall over, is just laying it on its back so the hole is face up. This is where your nipple goes, and this is just another way for me to feel secure that it won't tip over, because I've definitely accidentally done that many times. Now, for you to choose which one you want to use, the biggest difference is that the HAAKAA has a little bit more of an active pumping role than the Ladybug Milk Catcher. The original HAAKAA is more often called a hand pump, whereas this one is more of a milk catcher. Now, there are definitely videos on how you can apply this. I typically just squeezed, apply, and then let go, and then that created a little bit of suction. I never did the one where you like fold it back and then applied it like this. I know it's a lot more powerful, and I just really never felt the need to do that for myself. This will always collect more than any milk catcher will, and also when you go up sizes, it just is a thicker material. Just by squeezing it, you can really feel the difference. So the bigger one just naturally has more suction power because of that. The Haaka Ladybug really just sits on you, so it just really depends if you want to have a more active pump or if you are just trying to collect. I know when I first started breastfeeding, I was really concerned with having an oversupply, so I actually stayed away from using the HAAKAA in the very beginning because I didn't want to trigger my body to create more milk than my baby needed. So I didn't use this for quite some time, but I was using milk catchers because when you are feeding, it is likely that the other breast will just be naturally letting down milk. So I did not want that to go to waste, and I just opted for milk catchers. Now I actually have a separate milk catcher. This is the LV, and the shape is very similar, but it is different. I do plan to make a video comparing the LV to the HAAKAA. So if that is of interest to you, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video. There are many times where I preferred this LV, and I will talk about that in that video. One upside to using the Haaka Ladybug versus the original HAAKAA, one of the biggest upsides that I have with the Ladybug is that it can just sit in your bra and you can kind of forget about it. I know that there are some women who actually sleep with these on, and I actually have done that before, and I did not leak, I did not spill. So that is a really cool feature. I will say with the HAAKAAs, it is very likely that it will fall off you and leak all over the place at one point or another. I always have to make sure that I am looking to see what the suction is like, because it starts to lose suction as it fills up with milk, and the more milk that it fills up with, the less suction that it has. So every once in a while I will have to resuction it so that it doesn't just fall off and have all of the milk spill. The other thing too is especially with newborns, they don't have a lot of good motor function, and with their startle reflexes, they can just kind of knock it off you. And that was a very frustrating thing, if I'm gonna be honest, is him accidentally knocking it off. So that was one thing that I just always had to mentally prepare to have a more active role when I am using these versus just having this sit in my bra. That's another difference that I can mention, is whether you have to wear a bra or not. For me personally, I always wore bras when I was using any of the milk catchers because it sits on me. This does sort of suction, but not enough to where I would feel comfortable just having it suck on me. So I always wore a bra so it could hold it in place. Versus these, you don't need to be wearing a bra because it's actually kind of in the way, in my opinion. So this one, if you wanted to, if you have a preference, then you can just have it on you without it being secured with a bra, like when you're pumping, for example. So as far as price point goes, technically the HAAKAA is a cheaper alternative, although it depends which one you get with the size, and if you are getting one with the suction cup and lid or not. It can be anywhere from $12 up to $25 or so on Amazon and on the HAAKAA website, versus this one for a single goes to $18, so it's on the higher end compared to this. But you can get a 2-pack for around $33 for 2 of these. Amazon actually also sells bundle deals, so if you want to get one of each, they have that, and I will have those linked down below. If I had to choose just one, I would find it very, very hard because I would just want both, honestly. I don't necessarily recommend one over the other. It really just depends on what you're trying to get out of these products. So with the HAAKAA, I was able to build my milk stash just the same as I was with my milk collector. So this is what I did. Now it's time for the bonus tip on how I was able to build my milk stash using these 2 products. It is super simple and it's not going to take any extra time away from you. Every time that you feed on one side, you are just going to apply this to the opposite breast. While you're feeding on one side, the other breast will just naturally release let down, and that is what you are going to be collecting from this. It was at the very least 300 ounces of breast milk, and I never had to pump once. I do have a few videos related to my breastfeeding journey that I will have linked below. I highly recommend you to watch my 3-week breastfeeding update video because I have a lot of my breastfeeding essentials as well as the things that I wish I knew as a first-time mom who is new to breastfeeding. All right, now it's time for my cleaning hack to help you save so much time. Now, every time that I used any of these products, I was washing them immediately after I poured it into a container right away. But I didn't know that you can use the fridge hack, which is basically just being able to put your pump, milk catcher, whatever it is, in the fridge for it to not be able to grow bacteria because of the cold environment. I seriously wish that I had known this earlier because it would have saved me so much time. Let me know if you've heard of this hack, if you're gonna try it, and if you know of any other new mom hacks. I would love for you to leave it below so we can help one another out. Make sure you watch one of my recent videos where I talk about the most popular breastfeeding products that you actually don't need. Save your money and watch that video. If you are looking for all of the breastfeeding products that you do need, watch my 3-week postpartum breastfeeding journey update video where I talk about the things that I wish I knew firsthand as a first-time mom new to breastfeeding. If you've been watching this far, I would love for you to leave a little white heart just to symbolize our breastfeeding journeys. If you learned something new or found this video helpful, I would really appreciate a like. It really helps my channel out. And if you would want to come back and hang out some more, I would love it if you subscribed as well. You can follow me on Instagram at Mrs. Daisy Ringgold, and I will see you next time. Bye.